It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Brooklyn Cafe studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat at the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, or a movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in free 888-994-4995 right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe. Welcome to everybody on a beautiful Tuesday.
Is it beautiful outside? Have you been outside since we got here this morning?
No, don't go out there because you could fry an egg. And I got no hair on my head. I could fry an egg on my head.
We fixed that too.
And the coffee machine is busted.
I don't know what happened. It was just working all of a sudden.
What
boom.
you do?
I didn't even touch it.
What you do?
Nothing.
What you do?
Did you see I've been sitting here all morning?
Yes.
I have not moved.
I know. I told Teddy Dawn busted. She said, no, she's been sitting over there.
I have not moved all morning is all I can tell you. So happy Tuesday, everyone. Welcome to our wackiness. It's actually pretty calm right now. It was a little busy here this morning. We have some new artists coming in, some new exciting things happening here in the theater.
You want to talk about the art?
Whatever you want to talk about.
Talk about the art.
Give us a call, 888-994-4995. Press 1 for Studio A to get connected over to our show. We've got a great lineup today. We have Maggie Cook, who is an entrepreneur from Mexico. She's going to share her life story with us, as well as what she's doing now to empower people to help them get to where they want to be in business, in their next life, living their best life. Then we have our friend Ann Dector joining us in studio at 12:30, followed by the Farrow Law Firm. And today we're talking about bullies, but attorneys bullying other attorneys. So a little bit different, a little bit more upscale, but what's going on in our judicial system right now and how corporate lawyers are sometimes even bullying those attorneys that have smaller firms. So we're going to be talking about that on our 1 o'clock hour.
I think it's bullies versus bullies across America. I think that corporate got away with it because it was white-collar crime, but I think that it's beginning to catch up all the way around. Bullies have no place.
Anywhere.
Do you remember when we started doing this show, we had the ADL involved? Mm-hmm. And we did an anti-bully campaign. Where did we go? Where did we hold the biggest?
The BB&T?
The biggest event of the year. And we had the Brooklyn Cafe in the middle and everything. It was all about anti-defamation, right?
Yep.
Which I didn't even know what an ADL was.
You did not.
I thought it was ADT. So, and then the second year we did it again. And it got bigger. And where do we go?
Back to the ADL.
And did we do it a third year?
We did it a third year, but then we brought in all of the foundations that we work with.
Which was the biggest. We held it in the biggest room they got.
That was a year ago, over a year ago.
And we did that whole thing, anti-bullying. We did it for children. We've done it in schools. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Amazon to the rescue. I gotta love that place. And we were doing it over and over again. So we're really excited about bringing Jay Engineer. I mean, he likes to
bring it up to a whole nother level. Yes,
another
he
level.
does.
I mean, you got to check this out. But I have a wig, a white wig, because I want to have a gavel. Is that what it's called? I want gravel and a wig. That's the name of the segment, gravel and a wig. Because I'm going to throw gravel at him to calm him down.
See where it's at. People see, I'm turning into people calling me during the show. Then I never call anybody back, but.
It's okay. Listen, bother her. Call her on the line. What's the phone number here?
888-994-4995.
And you ask for?
Ask for Studio A, and we will be connected to our board operator. We've got an OG back in studio with us. We have our social media expert joining us today. So she's in the studio working on some new projects and some new clients.
So we have some new stuff going on. Now, I want to tell you what's happening this Friday because Promo Stuff for You is having his grand opening. And we are going to stay indoors for reasons that I will talk to him about later. But we are going to have the AMP girls having a photo shoot here. How you like that?
I like it a lot.
And that's being brought to you by House of?
Buljan.
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 It's like the mustard.
Buljan. That's Dijon,
Oh.
but close.
I heard the young. So it's Bujan.
Bujan, yes.
House of Bujan. Bujan. And they're going to have a photo shoot going on in here. We're going to have what is the name of, you come up with names I can't remember. The bar. What is the name of the bar? The cafe?
Cafe Boozy.
You
know
got
what's
Bujan
funny?
and Boozy.
It's funny because always, when I was doing all my stuff and doing the mom zone that I did and all these activities for school and groups, I always made up names for things. So it's kind of just the extension of what I did.
You making fun of me?
What I do. Not at all.
You're making fun of
No,
me.
I mean Cafe Boozy, House of Bujan. I always would come up with Mindset Mondays, and that's kind of what I always did. So now I just get to do it on another level
Yeah, but
for
you
more
would say
people.
things I can't remember. Cafe Bougie. I
Boozy.
wanted to call it the booze room or something. Cafe Bougie.
You could do that too.
Cafe Boozy?
Cafe Boozy.
With Casamia. We're going to be mixing and talking about our favorite friend, Gubba Rum, brought to you by Gubba Rum. And then we're going to have the dancing author, Amy.
Amy Minty on
Which we
Friday.
haven't figured out what the hell to do with that person,
I
but
know,
we're
but
going to
I'm
be doing
telling
something
you,
with her.
if you guys want some fun and entertainment, you need to follow Amy Minty, Minty, on Facebook. She does some great posts, social media posts. She sings, she dances, she does stories, and she writes spectacular books. So I don't know which one of our crew is going to be reading her books, but they are. Slick, when you get a chance, there are 2 Amazon boxes sitting in the middle of our floor. Or who's ever sitting there, if you guys can move those boxes so I don't trip over them, that would be helpful.
And Kelsey came up with an idea for her as well. We're going to
Yes.
expand on that right away as well. So on Friday, we got a full crew. We got a full everything happening because in Spanish they call it Viernes Social.
I also have another guest coming on Friday that I booked
course
a
you
while
do.
ago. And she does energy healing, not through acupuncture, but like acupuncture, but she can do it virtually. I'm not sure if she's coming in or not, but she sort of just moves energy around by seeing you virtually and kind of get your body in alignment, which I love because I haven't been to acupuncture now since February when Dr. Lee went back to Boston. And acupuncture clinics, I think, still have not opened up yet.
Not in South Florida.
So this lady, she does acupuncture, but she fixes energy. She moves energy virtually, so she can just look at you and sort of shift things around.
I got to see that.
I know, right?
And I got to see that. And on the Fuego show at Friday, 11:30, the Love show, which also airs on Friday at 3, is going to be on the show because they're bringing cariño, love to the Spanish community.
Oh, nice.
So I like that. And Slick doesn't know yet, but we are going to begin our Haitian Nation
Good.
show. He's ready. Look, he's snapping fingers
You ready,
over
Slick? In Creole.
there. In Creole, we're going to be doing some
Not
of that.
Kringlish, but Creole. Ça passe. I don't know the language, but it sounds very sexy.
It's like a French type of deal. Did you say Creole, Kringle?
Kringlish is what he calls it.
I call it Kringlish because I mix English.
He makes
I-
it Singlish.
It's okay.
But I mix English with the Creole.
And he's on
Kringlish.
3. So what do you call it, Kringlish?
He's on 3, guys. Kringlish.
Kringlish. I never heard of that.
It's like Spanglish. Like you mix
Spanglish, I heard
you
of, but
mix
Kringlish.
Spanish with English.
I kind of like that. The
And
Kinda
then-
did that himself.
We can do the Kringlish show.
We can do Kringlish show, but it's gonna be mostly Creole though. So sac passe to tout monde. Make sure you drink Gubba Rum. Gubba Rum is
Wow, you've been
wicked
practicing.
smooth.
Ça passe. Sounds, I love
He's
the way
been.
it sounds.
I love that, and everybody loves Slick. Mama Ali, she's coming forward. She's gonna do Mama Ali in the ring. So I need to sort of put that together with her.
I'm gonna try to see if I could do that because she kind of like she wants me to meet her like in person because she wants to do something with me Sunday. I don't know if Mama Ali was like I would say around my age, something might happen, but but she wants to meet with me on Sunday night to just to chit chat about
Tell
some
you
stuff.
something, Muhammad Ali would have.
He would have knocked me out though.
Right?
But that's coming on the horizon as well. I'm really excited about that. We are also going to be opening up WAMP, our Amp It Up podcast. We're going to open that up. We're going to actually set up some furniture. We're going to be changing things around. We're going to set up a podcast booth behind me.
You don't want to look behind you right now. They've been cleaning and doing things. We've got some new furniture coming tomorrow, some new paintings, some new artwork, some new sculptures. So we are in the middle of cleaning up behind there. And we're going to have some more room here, actually, Teddy, because that light bridge is going to go away. So she wants to kind of move the stage somewhere. She and Valerie are working on a floor plan. I wish I
Stage
could
where?
tell you where they want to move it, but I think they want to move it. I'm not so sure what
I
they
don't
want
know
to
what
do
they're
with
talking about, but I'm excited anyway.
it. Exactly. So a lot of cool things going on.
I'm exhausted.
You should be. And you and I have been sitting in these chairs. It's because you did the neuro CBD. Are you calmer?
Yeah,
I think you are.
it works. Wait a minute. What about the Cafe Gallery? Did you mention that?
I did not.
We have a whole bunch of new art coming in. We're going to have hopefully the J room over there in that corner. Wait till you check that room out. You're going to have Amy putting her stuff up. There's going to be a lot of glass mosaics. Glass mosaics. That doesn't even make sense.
Not glass mosaics, mosaics, and then glass artwork. Two separate things.
I think she's doing glass mosaics. I've never heard of that. And what was the term that Jay used today at the meeting about the culture? He's doing culture art or something?
Oh, I don't know.
He's going to do these pencil pieces that he does about what's going on around us. Even he says that his latest creation is spectacular.
Wow.
And for him to say that, this has got to look pretty good.
Very cool. So a lot of things going up. You guys, as soon as our guest comes on, just let us know and we'll bring her over. But it's been a busy day here in the studio, and we've got more to do. The bullying piece is something we've talked about for a long time. And Ann Decter's going to be joining us in just a few minutes as well.
Is Ann coming with the doc?
I don't know if she is or not, but I know she's going to be coming into studio. Who's sitting out there? I don't know.
My cousin Vinny's
My
out
cousin Vinny, you out there?
there. Is anybody out
It's
there?
just me. I don't think anybody listens to who I am.
Can somebody move those boxes before somebody breaks their necks?
Thank you very much. And watch. And you say it, and they get up. What is that?
Because you pointed it out.
Twice.
You pointed it out.
Twice.
Yeah, but you name names. I just can. You put it in the back. Put it in Hector's room.
How does that happen?
Oh, give it to
Teddy.
Teddy so she can see what it is.
But honestly, how does that happen?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You say it and they jump. I say it and they go, yeah. It's kind of like when I raised my kids. Yeah, Mom, I'll get to that.
Because I'm gonna run out. I'm gonna trip over it. Then I'm gonna say nobody can move this, and they're gonna know.
Pretty much, it's exactly how it rolls.
Listen, the kids are doing real well. You got other shows. How many shows we got? You got Teddy Unscripted. You got Slick Speaks. You got Hector's Cooking Show. We have
I wonder what he's making this week.
Small Talk with Valerie. We got.
Teddy Unscripted.
I got that. That's
And
the
then you've
first
got Fuego, which we did not
I
even
got
get
Fuego.
a chance to tell the crew about our new Fuego show.
one. Well, we will. We got Fuego, and then we have Atrévete coming. I think it's gonna start in 2 weeks because of some technical difficulties. So Atrévete is coming. That's our 6th show. Then we have a new one coming where businesses can actually learn a thing or two about survival. We have to name that one, so that'll be our 7th. I just got the approval. I got the editor's desk with David DePino on Fridays. That's 8.
I want to call that business show, and I don't know if anybody's listening to me, but clearly they don't. So I'm going to just throw it out there and see maybe God will hear me. BYOB.
Bring your own booze.
No, bring your something business.
Bring your own booze is BYOB.
I know, but that's why I want to do a play on that acronym, because it's like bring your business back,
Bring your business. Bring your
but that would be
business
BYBB.
back. BYBB.
But I want a BYOB. I want people to tune in, and what is BYOB? It's bring your something business. Bring your open business. Okay, that works. See?
Open?
The girls listen to me. Something for the O. So it'll be BYOB. It'll
Bring
be a play on the acronym.
Bring your own business.
A play on the acronym, and that's what I'm looking at naming that new show.
Well, it's funny because every guy in the building just looked at me and they're bottoms upping it.
But that's okay, right? It got your attention, didn't it?
Yeah, booze. Brought to you by Gubba Rum, BYOB.
But
Bring your own business.
or that, or we have got another vodka company tomorrow coming, a tequila company, but it's about opening your business up. It's bringing your business back to life. And if we have a catchy name, an acronym, we have got a catchy host doing this show. So that, I know we're covered on that.
Yes.
We got a lot of things going on.
A lot of good stuff happening. And I just want to announce also that we are now going to promote getting away from opening a Facebook. What is it that you have for business? I already forgot the name of it.
BYOB?
No, you're going to open up. When you open a business, you open up a web page.
Okay.
And we've come up with an idea to get away from the expense of opening up a web page and having something as effective that will work for you, which is our
MobiPop.
MobiPop. So I call it the popper.
Yes, I know you do.
I call it the popper because to me it pops. And it's a clever way because I know the businesses out there, entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs
You said it right, yeah.
are having difficulty with the cash flow, and they need websites and things of that nature. They can't afford to have them. I've talked to a few, so I want to go towards the MobiPop way. It works like a website, except it does some other things and enhances what you could do a little bit differently. So what is our MobiPop?
You can text CAFE, C-A-F-E, to 55312 and get our MobiPop and all of that information. Let's take a commercial break. When we come back, I hope we have Maggie Cook joining us on the line and some more guests coming in studio. So quick thank you to our sponsors, 888-994-4995. Press 1 for Studio A, and we'll be right back. Maybe.
Healing Moments Wellness Boutique specializes in integrating scientific and ancient therapies to relieve physical, emotional, and psychological distress. Through the power of touch, coaching, and meditation, clients experience pain relief, relaxation, healing, and detoxification. Contact Healing Moments Wellness Boutique at 561-931-2187 and experience Boca Raton's Healing Haven. Enjoy the benefits of an individualized treatment plan to help find your feelings of peace, complete balance, and wellness. Call Healing Moments today, 561-931-2187, and be rejuvenated.
The benefits of CBD are well known, but not all CBD is equal. At your CBD store, our award-winning products are made from organic industrial hemp. Your CBD store products are third-party tested for purity, and we offer a wide variety of products to meet your needs and preferences. From water solubles, topical creams and oil drops, to pet products. Visit your CBD store and let our knowledgeable staff guide you. Your CBD store.
The way you live your life says a lot about you. The way you choose to commemorate your lifetime can say even more. It's a single event that speaks volumes. So how do you celebrate a life? Dignity Memorial providers believe that your memorial service should be as unique as you are, reflecting your personality and your passions. It should be a perfectly tailored send-off, a fitting tribute for family and friends to celebrate the person they love. We're professionals at catering to your every need, right down to the catering. In fact, no detail is too small. So when it comes time for a fitting tribute, we'll see that your final wishes are beautifully fulfilled. It's what Dignity Memorial providers are known for. And why you should rely on us to see that your life is well celebrated. The celebration of a lifetime begins here.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
And we are back at the Brooklyn Cafe
I caught
Show.
you with your phone.
I know, it's very different here once we change our work around. It totally changes the energy and my energy, which is just crazy in itself. But I'm excited to bring our next guest on. This is a woman I met at the last expo that Alexa put on, which was back, I want to say in September, so it was a long time ago. The WEX.
When did you go to the WEX?
In September, when it was. It was a long time
Last
ago.
year?
A couple months ago. I think it was September, October,
How can
November.
it be a couple of months? We're in June.
So it's been almost a year. Okay, so it's been a long time ago. The last WEX I went to.
That was last year.
That's when I went. Anyway, I've been working on getting this guest. She's so busy to join us since then. So I'm excited.
But you better
because
hurry and put her on there.
I'm going to bring her over because I finally got her. I want to bring over Maggie Cook with 1G. And her story is amazing. Welcome, Maggie, to our show.
Hi, thank you for having me here.
Maggie is in Tampa, but I'd love, before we get into what you're doing now, if you can share with us, because we also have a Latin show that we produce called Fuego. As we're expanding our Latin network, I think Maggie has so much information, and where she has come from and where she is just amazing. So share your story with us.
Well, I'm originally from Mexico, and I was born in an orphanage there. I have 68 siblings, and I had such unusual experiences, and it's one of those things where you just never knew how bad you had it until you came out of that place. You experienced a lot of hunger and a lot of poverty, but I was always hopeful, and I wanted to like get a ticket out of there. And I remember even starting out, I used to see myself as this super successful woman when I was a little kid in the orphanage, and I would see myself as, this dressed up in this really nice suit and behind a mahogany desk with high heels and long hair, except for I have short hair now. But as my ticket out, I chose basketball, and I became very good, and I did everything that I could to get so well that the Mexican national team asked me to play for them in Mexico City. But I ended up breaking my collarbone, so I couldn't go. And I was told my dreams were over. But luckily, I was taken to the United States in a bus. Our caregivers took all of our siblings to tour the United States for a scholarship. And we got invited to a picnic. And at the picnic, there was a basketball court, and there happened to be the coach of the University of Charleston, and she saw me play, and she told my caregivers I want her to come play for me on a scholarship. And if I would have listened to somebody telling me my dreams were over, I probably never played that day, and I probably wouldn't be speaking to you today. But everything that I teach, everything that I've aspired to, is to use my mind to how to see myself in the place that I wanted to be in the future. And I still continue those practices today. We're in times where COVID-19 and all other issues are happening. And instead of, it's easy to focus on the problem instead of the opportunity that a problem or an issue or challenge brings. But when you focus on the opportunity, you'd be surprised at what comes up that actually empowers you and gives you more resources to succeed. That's when you become more resourceful, more resilient, more relentless.
I think back to your story of survival, and you created salsa, right? Something that people make all the time. They don't think twice about it. But you took this opportunity and you turned this into an unbelievable end result. Yes.
So I was in college, and I graduated as an interior designer, but I couldn't find a job in West Virginia. So I became homeless, and I lived out of my car until the engine exploded. I ended up living on the streets, and then when somebody found me and they gave me a place to stay, shortly after I was entered into a salsa contest for the state. And my salsa is a fresh pico de gallo salsa, and there's nothing like that in West Virginia. And so I entered the contest, won by unanimous vote, and that was my aha moment, because back then there were no fresh salsas. And I got a lot of rejections. I remember going through a list of supermarkets that I wanted to sell my products to, and 90 told me no. But I kept changing my approach, changing the way that I was doing things, until the first one said yes, and it was the largest organic retailer in the United States, which is Whole Foods. And literally overnight, I went from selling 250 pounds of salsa to friends in pint containers to selling 1 ton of salsa to Whole Foods and making $40,000 in 1 week. Amazing. So I was able to reinvest. And now the really interesting thing is when you don't give up on your dreams and a big breakthrough comes, what happened was that because I was in Whole Foods, Walmart called, Costco, Sam's, Kroger Company. I was distributing products in 38 different states across the United States. And it became very successful. And I grew from not knowing anything about business to ultimately selling my company to Campbell's. And it sold with Garden Fresh for $231 million in 2015.
I try. I know it's speechless, right? I'm looking at you thinking. I've never seen you sit so still.
But
I'm
what a
telling you, her
story.
story is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
You talk about not giving up on your dreams, on something that you just created, salsa, and you kept persevering and persevering, and now she is a motivational speaker.
Now, are you still creating the salsa?
No, when I sold the company, I sold the rights to it. I actually couldn't reproduce it for 3 years. Technically, I could start another salsa company, but I've always known that what I did with salsa, because who would have thought that I'd be making salsa, that it was a stepping stone for something bigger. And I know that a lot of millions of people benefit from the deliciousness of the products, but now I get to touch them in a deeper sense, in a spiritual sense, and a successful, business sense, to help people improve their lives or take their lives to the next level. And it's where I was. And I really teach people, where they want to be, where they want to go.
I don't know where to begin with this one. Okay, so let me ask you then. Can you talk about the salsa now, or do you have a non-compete? It's something you can't talk about it either?
No, I can totally talk about anything you want.
Okay, so what is the name of the salsa that is on the market that was originally yours?
So the name of it is Maggie Salsa. It was with 2 G's, but I changed my name to 1 G because the Maggie with 2 G's was American made, given to me. But I'm not sure which supermarkets carry it. What happened when I sold the company is that they merged my products with their products, because I was in certain supermarkets that they weren't in, and they couldn't get in. So they kind of merged my products because they were already there. And for example, for a time, my products, I'm not sure if there still are in Walmart, is a market side brand on the produce section. But I do know that my cheese dips and my salsas ended up merging. And I do know that they're still making it, because I have team members from the manufacturing plant there that call me occasionally, and they're still making the products for sure. I just don't know what they're doing with them.
Okay, and now you're a motivational speaker. Are you involved in entrepreneurs that want to get into the food business, into any other kind of business?
Anything really. Business is a universal concept, and I've helped businesses start, all types of businesses start and become successful. But I'm more focused on the mindset side of it, because with a mindset, you have to start with a mindset in order to become successful and go to the next level in business. So I work with all types of entrepreneurs and helping them get to the next level.
And with the motivational speaker side of it, clearly you never gave up on your dreams.
Right.
Have you changed what you're teaching now in spite of COVID, or are the messages pretty much the same?
It's slightly changed a little bit. Well, just as many people out there that these unfortunate events caused us to change, I was speaking in stages, and all of that got canceled. So my different direction is really starting online programs, and it's precisely what I've done. Created some online programs, and it's just a different direction to focus on, for example, the upcoming program that I have is called Decoding Success, the 7 Secrets to 7 Figures. So it's virtual online, and I am focusing on online virtual events, speaking events as well.
And how is that?
But I had to rethink everything, because I was speaking on stages mostly.
And it's totally changed. What are you finding that people are looking for, though? Are you finding that
People are looking
to reposition, to grow? It's an opportunity now to even create a new business if people have lost their jobs.
Well, the main thing is looking at challenges as opportunities. And I've always had the 3 R's, the resilience, the relentlessness, and the resourcefulness. And really, when people think of resources, they think outside of themselves, but really all the resources that you have are within you. And what I teach is based on the 3 R's, the 3 R's of highly successful people, which anybody can get. It's a gift that's on my website. If you go to my website, maggiecook.com with 1G, you can download that and it'll tell you how to be resilient, resourceful, and relentless, which is what you need, especially at these times.
And what do you think got you from where you were to selling the company? Is it the 3 R's, or is there something else that really motivated you to keep going and be in the right place at the right time?
It is mindset, and it's mindset together with resourcefulness, relentless, and it's really putting all those things together, because you have to have a passion. And the biggest thing for me is really rediscovering my why. Why am I here? Why am I doing what I'm doing? The greater purpose of why I'm living. And I think when people discover that, which is one of the things that I teach people how to do, how to get there, is when you discover that, you discover this tremendous amount of passion for what you're doing, or rediscovering it, because sometimes people do what they do and they just want a certain result, but they really don't put themselves as, the whole scope of life. Like, why am I here, living, breathing right now? What's the greater purpose? And that's really, when I can remember that every single day, then my vision, my mission, my values are aligned, and everything that I do, including the people that work with me, are aligned with those. And the success, because there's passion behind that, the success is unmatched, because there's so much passion behind that, understanding that. Because why else are we living, right?
True that.
I mean, look, she's a salsa from an orphanage to $241 million buyout from Campbell's, and now to give back to people.
Yes.
It's an amazing, amazing story. And it's a story that, you saw the bad side of life, and now you're seeing the good side of life. What you do with it now is remarkable. I mean, I'm just speechless, and that doesn't happen too often.
I know, and I'd like to bring her in on the
I would love to bring
Hispanic side.
I would love, absolutely. You have a story to tell, and I would love to build a platform so people can hear it and learn from it. And you know something? You're exactly what we all need right now. You're the shot in the arm that tells people, listen, if you work at it, you can get it straight, you can get it back going, and be there, because you are the walk. Nobody can ever say you don't know what I feel, because you've been there. Wow, that's amazing.
It's not often that I see him smile, Maggie, so it's kind of nice that you get to bring in a nice surprise. There was no way to describe. When I met her, I thought, wow, and I said, why? What are you? And there you were at a table. I'm thinking, what are you doing at your own vendor table, right? But there you were, inspiring all of these women. You were the keynote speaker at that event, too.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
And I know Alexa's looking to do some more online presence, because I don't know when WEX is going to be coming back, like so many of these other things.
We could do the virtual WEX. I told her that. You could do lots of things virtually. You could do it with small numbers. You could do it in pockets. Inspiration and creativity does not have any walls. And if you think it and you do it, you can get it done.
Mm-hmm.
How do people find your site, your book, which is called
Mindful Success? It's how to use your mind to transform your life. And people can find me on my website. It's maggiecook.com, Maggie with 1G, COOK. And I have a gift. As soon as people go there, they can download the 3 R's of highly successful people, which is a ton of value. And it's really good, especially for what people are going through in these challenging times. But I really tell the listener that if you can focus on the opportunity, and don't call them problems, but the opportunity on the challenges that they bring you, you can actually begin to see the challenge differently, and you be revealed, and all these answers are going to come to you as to how you can change, how you can bounce back, how that you can improve your life to where the current circumstances are right now. How can you make it better? And you'd be surprised at the ideas that come up.
And you really feel it's the mindset. Well, and that's the key. And what about when people say to you, you don't understand. I can't just think it and will it. I got to feed my family. I got to pay my rent, my electric. How do you reply to that?
Well, yes, absolutely. Science now, they used to say that it takes about 30 to 45 days to reprogram your subconscious mind. Well, now they're saying that it takes 21 days. And I have a program that I teach. It's called Meditation Creator, where you can actually create your custom meditations. Like for you create your own personalized custom meditations with affirmations. And what happens is, if you can take something that you really want, but it has to be written well, because the quality of what you're asking for equals the result of what you get. So when you write these things and you say them to yourself every single day, your mind, it becomes believable. And it's like magic. Everything that I've manifested in my life, including Walmart calling me, I didn't call them, was through this process. And when you can change the way you look at things, just like Dr. Wayne Dyer said, the things that you look at change. But when you start putting those in your mind every single day, you start changing the way that, even like right now, like the way that you're sitting, if you're sitting like this, the energy that's coming in versus you're sitting like this, everything that you do, the way that you move, the way that you dress, the way that you talk, the way that you see the world begins to change. And if you put those things in your mind, it becomes believable. Then therefore you become that thing that you are saying that you are, even though, people say fake it till you make it. Well, it's really not that, because you're actually saying to yourself, this is who I am. This is the new me. And when you believe that, all that comes in that time when your mind accepts it. And then everything begins to change, because the people, the places, the circumstances begin to show up for your life, because you begin to notice the things that you've actually asked for and you put in your mind. It's really interesting how that works, but it's so powerful. And if people could just understand that there is really no suffering but the suffering that you put on yourself.
Change your perspective.
All right, very nice. I'd like to talk to Maggie maybe after the show. Maybe we could do something in the Latinos. Everybody needs to hear from Maggie. We're going to have to duplicate you into about 15 different people. Is what it comes down to. But the message is strong. I want to thank you for coming and sharing this stuff with us. And it comes at just the right time.
Thank you, Maggie, so much. I'll contact you. We'll make up a time we can have a conversation and see how much more we can do and bring what you do forward.
Absolutely.
Well needed.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So nice to see you again.
Fantastic.
You too.
Very
Take care.
nice.
Changing the perspective. And before we go to commercial break, remember you said to me last week we need someone here that speaks Spanish other than Hector to help run some of our Hispanic shows.
Well, this is the flip side to it.
She speaks Spanish too. No. We have a new intern that applied to us through Handshake from FAU who's bilingual. And and what did I say to you? And Teddy was there. And I said, just ask and tell me what you need and we will get it. And here she comes.
All right, let's take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll pick it up from here.
How do you like that? More motivation. We've got Ann Dector joining us, and then we've got Jay Farrow and Janine Davis. So stay tuned. 888-994-4995, Studio A, and we'll be right back. Welcome to your vacation staycation. And what better way to kick back than to blend up a sweet pina colada, a smooth mojito, or just a nice stiff rum and coke. If you want true relaxation and enjoyment, then you want Gubba Rum. Gubba Rum is a unique rum infusion. Gubba Silver Rum is infused with real shredded coconut, and Gubba Rum Gold is infused with real shredded vanilla bean. Both are made with certified organic ingredients. Each infused Gubba Rum is 35% ABV, 70 proof, and as we say in Boston, wicked smooth. So if you're looking for the best combination of taste, smoothness, quality, and price, your clear choice is Gubba Rum. If you want that wicked smooth taste for yourself or your vacation staycation, visit GubbaRum.com to find your closest liquor store that carries Gubba Rum Gold and Gubba Rum Silver. Gubba Rum, it's wicked smooth.
Hey everyone, this is Jeff, your branding specialist with Promo Stuff For You. So we're entering the new year. By now everybody has gotten their corporate gift, so this time of year generally is quiet with the exception of marketing departments trying to figure out what they're going to do for 2020. So it's really important that a company figures out and does proper planning throughout the year as to what type of marketing they want to do. At Promo Stuff For You, I love being able to sit down with a client and figuring exactly what they want to do, when they want to do it, and time it with the various events that they might have coming up.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
I choked on water, and we're back.
And we are back at the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Grab a mic, Miss Ann. Should I take this off or keep it on? That's up to you.
It's up to you.
Okay. There's a mic right next to you. Just turn on the green light and let us know what number you have. You know how this rolls. We have our longtime friend, Ann Dector, with us. Our last segment, we had Maggie Cook. Such an amazing story. Right, your camera is right over there. Maggie's story is amazing, and we're going to talk to her a little bit more. But imagine starting with salsa, being homeless from an orphanage, and now being a motivational speaker and selling your company for $241 million to Campbell's.
Unbelievable.
Salsa, pico de gallo, right?
And I'm going to have to go outside.
You're gonna have to. You did this yesterday at the same time. Must be your allergies.
There's something in the air. Oh, you keep talking.
So we've got Ann Dector joining us. Freddie's gonna walk right in front of us, and then we keep rolling and going. Ann, thank you so much for joining us. It has been a while.
It's been a while. Can you hear me? It's the read button is on, right?
Yep.
It's very weird to sit here and stare
Turn
at
my
the camera
cameras.
when Dawn is sitting to my left, but yeah, it's funny. I'm going to keep turning my head to look at Dawn a little
That's
bit.
okay.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I'm happy to be here, and hopefully we can uplift some spirits and live a more authentic reality.
What has changed? Because we haven't seen you in person in months since this first started happening. I think you had a cold. And this was back in March, and you said, I'm going to stay home, or Dan had a cold. So it's been months. We've had come in virtually, but we haven't seen you. But there's a state of new normal in the community and people that have only stayed home in all of these things.
Yeah. We have been basically buckling down. Dan has been retraining. He is working furiously on genetic medicine, getting a certification, and he's also been working virtually. He's doing telemedicine, which is very interesting. He's also, so it's been interesting because he's been learning a whole new world of medicine. I, on the other hand, have been working all virtually, doing podcasts, sharing the message, learning more and more about social media, because I think this is truly our future. And of course, the update on my son, he still lives in his underwear and doesn't get out of bed till 2 in the afternoon. So we are on vampire hours in our house. Still in vampire hours, and just wondering what this child is going to do this summer.
Well, what are you finding about people, the community? As a motivational speaker, you were in corporate world. You were helping businesses elevate to motivate their sales force, task force, all of these things.
What I'm finding now is that everyone is trying to find their balance. Everyone is trying to find what works for them. Going out into the world, some people want to stay more virtual, some people want to open up a little more. But I think most people are living in a place of speaking their truth, and this helps them that. Because do I want to wear a mask? Do I not want to wear a mask? Do I want to be with people? Do I not want to be with people? So people are really starting to look inside and say, what is my truth? What works for me? What doesn't work for me? So, and I think we're starting to see a lot of diversity, a lot of differences. And everyone I speak to, I just keep saying, be compassionate. Your way might not be somebody else's way. You might feel that somebody not wearing a mask is putting you in danger. I get it. But if you don't like that, then you wear the mask. You do what you need to do to protect yourself. You lead your business, you lead your family, how you need to lead your family. But the most important thing I'm seeing right now is that people really are living in a place of choice. What choice do I have right now? How am I going to interpret my reality? That is the biggest thing. And people are saying right now, oh, I'm done. I've had it. I've had it. But this isn't going away. So what are you going to do? What is the choice you're going to make?
Well, that's what I'm thinking, because it's not going away. People are opening up. People are getting out there. They're being exposed to wearing masks. They're going to the beach. They're not wearing masks. Then they come back, and you're surrounded by them. And how do we deal with that anxiety of what it is?
It is a lot of anxiety. And, you know, I was in a supermarket the other day in Palm Beach, and I saw 2 ladies without a mask. And it was a tiny little specialty supermarket. And I just walked past them and very gently said, you know it would be to everyone's advantage if we still continue to wear masks. And she looked at me and she goes, oh, I don't have one. And I thought to myself, okay, so listen, what am I going to do? I can only take care of myself and my family right now. And I'm not going to rag on anybody, and I'm not going to get upset with anybody, because what we're finding right now is that people's mental state is really precarious. It's very precarious. It's like we're reaching like this tipping point, and how people are choosing to react. When my girlfriend asked me this morning, she says, you're so busy, you're busy, you're busy. I said, listen, I made a choice. I decided to use this time wisely. I'm learning. My husband is learning. We're in deep learning mode right now. We're in building mode, if so to speak. I said, if I don't do that, especially as a woman, that I'm like really the keeper of my family, if I go down, my whole family's going down. So I said, you know what, not doing it. So every day I fight. It's a choice. It's a choice. So we're in learning mode, we're in growing mode, and it's just also day by day. I tell everybody, just live, do your best day by day. Looking into the future right now, just day by day. That'll help you with your sanity.
I think that's all you can do is day by day. Things happen here moment by moment, and if you think about the next day, and now I'm back to today again.
And then the other thing is the spiritual energy that's going on in the world right now. This is something that, I mean, gives me a lot of strength, and it permeates all that I'm doing right now, is to know that there is a physical world and a spiritual world that we live in. And that in order to activate the abundance that comes from above, we have to take specific actions in the world below where we're at. We have to know the right telephone number to dial abundance, to dial health, to dial peace of mind. And what are those actions? I can tell you what they're not. They're not judging, rioting, going crazy, destroying property. These are not those actions. That's not going to bring abundance from above and not going to create that alignment. So again, it's a choice. What do you want? Who do you need to be? What choices do you need to make so that you dial in to the frequency of abundance that comes from above? So I have 3 tips, but I'm waiting for you to, you guide me done. You let me know when.
You want to hear the tips?
Yeah.
Yeah, what are your tips?
Tip number 1 is to very much watch your words right now. Watch what you're thinking. Watch what you're saying. And it's not as hard as people think. It's very simple. It's before you open your mouth, you ask yourself, is what I'm going to say, how I'm going to behave, going to be a cause for positive change, or is it going to harm people or harm myself? That's number 1. Just ask yourself before you open your mouth. And that's also going to work within families. We're seeing families now that are falling apart. We're seeing people in there's so much stuff going on in families. I mean, families were just barely getting through before, and they were just managing, and they had so many distractions and different things going on that they didn't have to face the reality that I got stuff I got to work on. You put them in a house with all their family members, everyone's on top of each other, and now you can't run away or hide from anything.
True.
So it's been very challenging on all of those fronts. So it really becomes down to not so much a war against some external force from the outside, it's more the war within. It's yourself against yourself. It's yourself pitting yourself against yourself.
And I guess it's our thoughts is what I'm seeing, what I'm thinking and seeing. And I watch our crew around here, and good and bad, they keep going, and they don't panic, and they keep going, and they do what they do. And I have to say, Freddie, I look up to them. I admire them, because when I get anxious and nervous, I look at them and they're calm and they're good. And I'm thinking, well, wow, clearly it's something I'm doing wrong that I have all this anxiety, because they are doing what they do.
No, they've learned that there is no thinking your way through panic. I mean, we've stressed that. We've talked about that. We continue to do that. And one of the points that I would add to what Ann is talking about is accountability. You know, I mean, we are all accountable for the thoughts and the words that we use, good, bad, or indifferent. And I think that the moment is what's happening with the NFL right now. It's what's happening with different parts of our society. Accountability for things that we either said, thought, or did wrong. You got to be held accountable for it. You know, it doesn't make any sense that if you've made a mistake, like on the air yesterday, I apologized to my son. because I made a mistake. I did not understand what was going on in the society, which had to do with kneeling in the flag and the player in San Francisco. And me and him got into words when it happened 3 years ago, and we left it alone. And I was wrong, and I'll be the first to admit it. And I apologized to him on the air, and he called me last night. We had a long talk about it, because there is communication. And I learned from that mistake that I did to be accountable. And I manned up. And you know something? You could teach an old dog a new trick sometimes. And I was wrong. I misunderstood what the whole thing was about. And I even spoke to Slick, who taught me a lesson last week. Exactly what Ann is saying. Timing is important in watching what you say. Because you could be real careful and watch what you say, and you could say it at the wrong time. And that kid over there taught me the lesson. He says it's all about the timing. There's a right time, a wrong time, and then there's the now time.
You know, Freddie, it's so true, because my husband, his pride and joy is his swimming pool. Okay, don't mess with his swimming pool. So today the gardeners were cutting the lawn in the back. So I walk into the kitchen and I see him with 2 padlocks. And I said, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm going to lock the fences." "Why?" He says, "Because I don't want them coming in and blowing the grass into the pool, because then I have to clean it up." And I said, "What's wrong with using your words? Why do you have to take a potentially inflammatory position? You know, they're going to come, they're going to bang on the fence. Like, why can't they get in when they could get in 2 minutes before?" I said, "Why are you doing that? Just go outside and with human dignity, tell the gardeners, hey, thank you so much, but don't blow now. It's okay. Let the little tiny pieces of grass stay where they're staying." Oh, yeah, oh.
When does your pool guy come to clean the pool?
Once a week on Fridays.
And when do you cut the grass?
Today's Tuesday,
whenever
so I
the
guess
whenever the
Well, that's-
association comes in and cuts
I had
the
the
grass.
same problem. You know what I did? I went out and I got him something to drink. And I said, "Listen, I want everybody in the pool, the guys that cut the grass." And they went over to the pool and said, "Oh, we can't get in that." I says, "Now you know my point." So now I had the pool guy come afterwards, and the 2 of them work together now. The 2 of them are working together. Because you know something? You can't control that environment.
So I said to him, I said, "Why would you want to be a source of more stress in the world
Exactly.
right now?
And stress out himself.
And stress on yourself." I said, "Why?" And then potentially they can break a fence because they don't understand why it's stuck and they push too hard on something. Use your words. Think about a loving, caring, sharing action. Stop and think before you just go off like half-cocked like a bull and you're going to lock fences.
Using your words.
Sometimes the action of finding those padlocks, going outside, putting on the locks, could you imagine? It takes so much more energy to engage in a negative action than it does just to 3 seconds go outside and say, "Hey dude, thanks, but just don't blow now." Finish, done, next.
And in our next hour, we talk about those uncomfortable conversations. And there's no one that taught me better about that than Jay and Janine, because from the beginning, it was about having those conversations, even the ones that make you sick to your stomach. And I have a lot of those lately that you have to have. And I feel like now more than ever, as we are having these conversations that before I'd say, I don't want to have them, and they might pass. But during these times, if someone's temperature is not right, we got to sit them down. Or maybe you have to leave. Or maybe this one was exposed to something and we have to tell people. And for us, for me, my anxiety goes higher, but you have to have these conversations or you're ending up locking the doors.
Correct.
And nobody comes around.
It's a new safe.
It's what, locking the doors or the
No,
conversation?
the new safe is the way you do business, new safe. And you have to understand, you have to communicate with one another.
Right.
And you have to be safe. I mean, that's what's happening in New York right now. Everybody's scared to death up there because of what's going on. And they were the epicenter. And they don't have any cases right now. And now they open up the subways, which in my estimation
Oh my gosh.
is the breeding ground to all of this thing. But we're going to find out. Only one way to find out.
We're gonna
How do
find
people
out.
find you and everything you're doing now on social media?
They can email me at goodtobetter2020, the number's 2020@gmail.com. I am also happy to send them the first 3 chapters of my book. It's my way of giving a lot of strength and support to the world right now. And Shoshana Dector, you can Google me. I'm on Facebook, and let's connect because we're all in this together.
Spiritually, for business, the new normal, just building yourself up or anything, just contact Ann. You can find her all over social media, or you can always give us a call and we'll put you in connection with her, 888-994-4995. Ask for Studio A. Going to take a commercial break, switch over to our 1 o'clock hour. You're like clockwork, and now you're good.
I'm good.
Something in the air.
It's something at that time.
I know. We've got Jay Farrow and Janine Davis joining us from the Farrow Law Firm. We're going to talk about bullying and having those conversations and
That's a lot
really
to do with
addressing it.
going
Very
around
timely,
now,
right?
yeah,
It's like just dealing with what you got to deal with. No one has a better way with words than these two, is all I can tell you. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Callaway here from the VoiceOver Connection, and I'm here to tell you that you're missing out. Everybody has a dream, something that they believe can change their life or even change the world. The difference between letting that dream slip and making it come true all depends on whether or not you can make the world believe your dream too. Here at the VoiceOver Connection, we specialize in selling dreams. Our team of well-connected and influential voices will help take your ambitions, your deepest and wildest aspirations, to places that you never imagined you could reach. The time for dreaming is over. You've done enough of that already. It's time to take action. Elevate your business by giving your dream a voice. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or email us at thebrooklynCafeTV@gmail.com. Because a dream is only a dream until you decide to make it real.
His abilities as a dry cleaner are so undeniable, dry clean only tags have his phone number printed on the back. Stubborn stains sometimes call him late at night just to apologize. His pickup and delivery service is so fast, his vans have pit crews. He is the most interesting dry cleaner in the world.
You don't always dry clean, but when you do, use A&T Dry Cleaners. Stay dirty, my friends.
Kids for Kids Ministry. The vision is to see children in Haiti emerge from extreme poverty into an extraordinary destiny in Christ. The problem is the orphans in Haiti lack clean water to drink and food sustainability. These children need art-integrated education, medical needs, shoes, clothes, a lunch program, and teacher salary aid. The mission is to sponsor local leaders in Haiti to support them in the care of orphans and vulnerable children. In January of 2020, Kids for Kids traveled to Haiti to visit the orphans at their home and at their school. The school has now grown to 30 children attending daily classes, but there are many things to improve upon. To help us or to donate, contact Patty Paget at Kids for Kids Ministry, 561-876-1710. That's Kids for Kids Ministry at 561-876-1710.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
You know, you're a little off there, lady.
I don't know, you've got everyone so confused. I'm not quite sure why you have everyone confused, but you do.
I don't have anybody confused.
You had them all running around in circles here. I think it's because you need another cup of coffee.
What are you talking about?
Slick, I don't know what it is, right? Poor Teddy, she's running one way. We got someone else running another way. They're all like, what are you doing? And
you know, you're bullying me. Okay? I'm going to call my attorney on you. You're bullying me. Cut it out.
Well, you're lucky for your attorney is here in the house. We've got Jay Farrow joining us from Farrow Law Firm, and then we'll have Janine joining us in the second half hour. But we have worked with Jay between Momentum Mindset Show and Verdict TV. We've done a lot with the two of them. And his mission and his message always stays the same, but the bullying, the corporate bullying and what's happening is really taking itself to a whole nother level.
And there's added on. You got the corporate, you got all sorts of stuff going on in that department as well. I mean, we could take this out. We're going to bring Jay in on this conversation.
And I know you're excited about
with
this.
Landlords and everything else. I mean, there's all sorts of bullying going all over the place. And I think it has to do with a mindset here, which is why I love the Momentum Mindset that you started this thing with. Then you went to the Verdict, so you took it to another level. Then you went back to mindset. Then you went back to Verdict, and you say, I'm confusing?
But it's about the mindset, it's about the bullying, and we talk about bullying all the time for kids in different levels, and now there's workforce, and you talk about what's happening with the riots and the protesting, a form of bullying. It's emotional bullying, it's physical bullying, but now you wouldn't even think that attorneys would bully each other, but apparently
I never heard of that.
That's happening also.
So tell me, what's going on, Mr. J?
Well, first, thanks for having me on.
Turn on his mic, guys. You got a green light?
Yeah, I have a green light.
All right.
So thanks for having me on today and for inviting me on the show. I did post something very personal to me last night on Facebook because, as Freddie was saying, that we had been doing a show called The Verdict for some time, and that was to highlight a better way to have cases resolve themselves, to highlight some of the things that were going on in the cases in South Florida, to make public what's already more public, but to actually reach inside the clerk's office and highlight some of the cases that don't get covered on CNN, but should. And over the course of the last couple of years, my law firm has been supporting people to find their voice, to stand up to the bullies in their life. And in the process of that, the claims that we filed at the law firm involve like civil racketeering, fraud, and manipulation of evidence, and there's some heavy-handed claims. And the people that are on the other side and the companies that are on the other side are some of them are very large companies, and they have very well-funded legal representation. Well, right when this COVID quarantine began and my office closed down in the beginning of March, a couple weeks after that, my office was sued for the first time, and then a couple weeks later we were sued again for defamation and a couple of other claims by the lawyers on the other side of my case. And this is like almost unheard of, where lawyers would actually sue a lawyer in an active litigation. And the problem with that is that because it happens so rarely, and it's a thing that just doesn't come up that often, where a lawyer would actually sue another lawyer for doing their job, it was like, well, what do we do with this? And for a number of weeks, I mean, I felt only what I can think that my clients feel when they come to me, and they've been bullied in the corporate environment, and they've had commissions stolen from them, or they've had benefits taken away, or they had accounts that were the subject of someone cooking the books, and so they weren't getting paid on things properly. So I felt like my clients. And
well, you didn't have one lawsuit, you had two.
I had two.
And you're telling us that this is not something that happens often.
Right, it was two lawsuits filed by two sets of attorneys in two different cases. One's in Seminole County and one in Palm Beach. So this happened back to back, and it forced me to start thinking about, like, oh my God, what do I do? Because I can only imagine that the strategy behind filing a lawsuit like this is to investigate the investigators. And we've heard this concept. It's like someone needs someone to blame, so they're going to point the finger at me. Now, I was starting to get used to that as an occupational hazard for some of the work that we do, but this completely crossed the line. And so for a few months, I was like, what am I going to do? I mean, how does a lawyer handle a pressure like this? And how many times do claims, like legitimate claims, die in a lawyer's office because lawyers on the other side threaten them with with monetary sanctions, with a lawsuit, or file a lawsuit like this? Because I know that some of my colleagues, when I brought this to their attention, like, hey, why don't you just cut and run? And that's just not something that I can do. I'm not built that way. That said, I needed to come up with a strategy for it.
Right.
So for the last 3 months, the first thing we did was we filed lawsuits back at them for what's called abusive process. And now that's led to them filing motions to dismiss those claims and motions for sanctions against my firm. And so that's forced us to engage in even more research. And finally, we have now found some legal footing after doing a tremendous amount of research for the last 3 months. I mean, we didn't go away. We're still here. But it was like and I'll take a step back. When I started practicing law in 2003, a lawyer threatening sanctions at the beginning of a case basically says to another lawyer, I'm going to hold you financially responsible for your legal conduct in this case. And that was told to me that was extremely rare like 18 years ago, 17 years ago. Now, more and more, it's the common practice of larger firms or more well-funded firms to use this as a blanket strategy. So the first thing when a demand letter goes out, lawyers get on the other side, because I have 2 lawyers in my office and I work with others, but I get letters automatically saying that we're going to come after you, Pharaoh, for all of the attorney's fees. Now, if you imagine, if I'm going after a multi-million-dollar case, the legal fees in that case could be $300,000 or $400,000. So I have to ask myself, am I going to be potentially liable for something like this at the end of the day, even though my claims of my clients are legitimate? So it turns the tables immediately on the lawyers investigating and doing their job. And so as I started to get into the research on this, I started to say, well, if this is happening more and more, is it possible that if a lawyer takes this action against another lawyer, that they're actually aiding and abetting or engaged in some kind of civil conspiracy with their clients with the claims that I'm going after? Because mind you, you hear about these fixers all the time, and you hear about lawyers that solve problems for people, right? And they're willing to do any length to get rid of something. Well, if that's the case, and the lawyers are directing their strategy to basically eliminate the lifeblood of a victim's claim, which is a lawyer's efforts to prosecute their lawsuits, then is this delving into an area where these threats of sanctions and these lawsuits become more of a conspiracy towards allowing that fraud to continue? So we're investigating that piece, and while we're investigating that piece, there's a separate claim called abusive process, which is it was very difficult to research until we found a couple of cases that started to fit exactly what was going on. Because it's our position that if you're going to use a lawsuit to investigate the investigators and to try to get into my work product, because basically these people are asking me, how did I find out my information? And that's all protected. I mean, really asking me, who snitched? Who are the whistleblowers?
Hold on a second, because you're going to make my head explode. Okay, so somewhere along this journey that you're on, there was a lawsuit and you had a client that you were protecting so that they can get what is justified for them.
Right.
Okay, that's how this whole thing started.
That's how this whole thing started.
Okay, then you find out that there's some kind of stuff going on that's undermining the judicial system. Is it legal or illegal what they're doing, or is it illegal how they're doing it because they got monies?
What I'm saying is that they're using the judicial system as both a shield and a sword. And they are essentially attacking the lawyers with baseless claims in order to have them cut and run. That's what I think that their strategy is.
To discourage the lawsuit.
To discourage the lawsuit. To also drive a wedge in between me and my client. Look, when a lawyer gets a threat that their personal life is about to be affected for doing their job, there's going to be, whether it's spoken about or not, an uncomfortable conversation between the lawyer and their client about what just happened here, especially when the lawyer gets sued in a case for, let's say, defamation. And it's like, there is, luckily, something called litigation privilege. It means that anything that I write in a pleading, anything that I write in a pre-suit demand letter is essentially 100% protected speech, okay? And what the other side is attempting to do is to say, no, there's going to be a limit to that, and even though it's not defined, I'm going to try to get into that.
That's where I was going to head to this thing. And isn't there a judge listening to everything that's going on with this? Because to me, it sounds like it's a giant cover-up to take away attention from what you originally set out to do. Is there a judge?
There is a judge, But understand, this is the beginnings of a case. So in the beginnings of the case, the judges handle matters like related to like a motion to dismiss or some smaller matters. Like some people think when you file a lawsuit, there's automatically a judge who's just reading the case and is on top of it and taking it personally. That's what some of my clients believe, is that when you file a lawsuit, the judge knows exactly what's happening on a day-to-day basis with their case. And I can appreciate where that comes from. But that's likely not the case. Judges they have a number of cases assigned to them in whatever county that they're in. And that means that they're not personally involved in the day-to-day of what's going on in the case. And
well,
when
I'm a little confused. You file a case for your client on
Yes.
behalf of your client against another company,
in one of the cases, yes.
And now you're being sued as the attorney.
That's correct.
For defamation.
That's correct.
But I don't.
But isn't
I
that
don't,
what
I don't
law's
wanna,
about?
I don't want to name the suit. I mean, we can't name the case, but. Weren't you representing a client? So why are they in fact suing you for defamation?
In this one complaint that's it's 88 pages long, and the reasons why that they're doing this, and I'm taking a risk doing this right now.
I was going to say maybe we shouldn't be doing this.
But no, but the thing is, I'm taking a risk, but it's based upon the research I've done. I'm not naming names as of right now. But what I'm saying is that this is going on out there. It's not just in my case. Lawyers in my position get threatened all the time in the beginning of cases. Like if we're going to be chasing claims for fraud, for civil racketeering, for civil theft, I mean, the people that are on the other sides of these cases that are accountable or otherwise should be accountable, have made a lot of money acting the way that they have. And this is a newer thing that has developed in the law, or in at least the amongst lawyers, where it's like the go-to defense is to attack the lawyer first. The go-to defense is to try to put the lawyer's pocketbook at issue by saying, I'm going to come, if you dare file this case, rightly or wrongly, I'm going to make this about you and not about you and the client. So from get-go, I'm going to threaten you. And now, for the very first time in my career that I'm aware of, I was sued in one case for defamation for cases that were already filed, and I was sued for defamation for a case that wasn't even filed yet, where I only set out a pre-suit demand. So in both of these instances, this caused my law firm, myself, to dig deep, to perform a bunch of research, and find out what could be done in these circumstances. Because it seems to me that even when a lawsuit is filed and it's a matter of public record, the other side wants to keep it quiet. The other side wants to keep it confidential. The other side believes that they can keep this contained and that there's nothing anybody can do about it. But my research indicates that once it's a matter of public record, anything that was filed with the court is a matter of public consumption. And I think, like what I wrote on Facebook last night, I can't stay silent about this anymore, because how many lawyers in my position go through this on a daily basis and have to make a decision between taking a case and then their own pocketbooks funding the case that's coming that when they get sued for it. It's just like a double-edged sword, and it should never be.
So it seems it's more of an emotional mindset, because we've worked with you for a long time, right? So we haven't seen you in a couple months,
Right.
and all of this has been happening.
That's correct.
The emotional capacity that it's taking to deal with this, the mental capacity, the anguish, the stress, is this part of what this is?
And it's interesting because, and it's come full circle, because for the first number of weeks, and mind you, this is not the first time I've been threatened. So over time, this is where the line got crossed, is being sued. Like I've been threatened with sanctions before filing a lawsuit. I let that go most of the time as water off a duck's back. But in this instance, it was like, okay, it forced me to, in other words, I had to hire my own lawyer for this case, and it also forced me to do a bunch of research to figure out what was going on. So once I had the knowledge and I felt like I got my power back. And that's the other message that I have, is that there is an answer for this, just like there's an answer for any type of bullying. I mean, there's just, the answer is, in my instance, is information. It's the legal research that we were able to find that says that these cases aren't going to stand, and we're going to continue to be a stand for our client to stand up to the bullies in their life.
Well, hold on, because I've heard deals when I was at NYU. I heard where attorneys had threatened people that in court that they were going to motion them to death, and this won't be heard for another 10 to 12 years. And what their logic was, are you going to be paying your attorney that length of time to do this? Now, is it a threat or is it a legal maneuver? And I want you just to wrap your arms around this, because this is the way they're going to present it.
And it's an excellent question. There are, as in any game that you have, I mean, there are inbounds and outside of bounds, you know, and when you say something like that and you make the other side aware of the litigation costs, I think that's fair game. I mean, it's basically making them aware of what's absolutely true. It's going to cost you $300,000 or $400,000 to prosecute your case. At the end of the day, you might not make that much on the back end, and someone's not collectible. That's something to say. But if you're going to just say to the lawyer, I'm going to have your reputation ruined or tarnished by a motion for prosecuting sanctions against you without any basis, or if you go ahead, I'm just going to sue you, because then I had to get my own lawyer, which I had to pay, to be able to defend these claims, okay? It puts the lawyer into a place that the lawyer was never supposed to be. And that is in the heart of the lawsuit, as opposed to just representing the clients in the lawsuit. I mean, these people don't want to get to the business at hand. They want to make it about me.
Yes.
I mean, I'm the guy that's the interruption in their life. I'm the guy that's going after their clients, prosecuting claims under the law. And if they can't handle that, their best answer for what's about to happen to their company within the lawsuit is sue Jay. I mean, that's where we're, and mind you, and even though it lacks basis and we're going to win at the end of the day, one way or the other,
they're going to put you through the system.
It's like you have to go through the process where your time, your expense, and your resources are dedicated to something that should never be. And that's where.
You know, Jay, my mother broke her ankle, and in front of the building where we lived, and they offered her $25,000 for her injuries. My mother was a proud woman. She says, "Okay, I'll take the 25." And I said, "No. I went to see some attorneys in Midtown." And we sat there, and they had to interview my mother, who broke spoken English. And these attorneys for the building came top notch, and they start making fun of my mother. And I was going to NYU at the time. I've never told this story. And I looked at the attorneys, and I said, "You tear that check up. I don't care what the expenses. I will pay you for the rest of my life. But then nobody's going to make fun." I mean, she had a cast on and everything. So what they did was, we went to court, and they made posters bigger than this, and they put it throughout the courtroom of my mother in agony, holding on to her life. My mother was in her 50s, 60s at the time. And the judge looked at the company and says, "If I were you, I would settle this case tomorrow. Because from what I'm looking at from here, I don't know how they got the posters in there. I'm going to be honest with you. But these guys were not going to let my mother get bullied." I can relate to what you're saying. The problem here is that they get in your head here, and you're going to have to weigh out I know that you're gun-ho. I know you want it bad, but I can respect the reason that Jay is doing this. Right, wrong, or indifferent, it's exactly what's going on around us in so many different ways. But this happened to me back when. My mother ended up winning $500,000. And they said to her, "We can win more if you want to go the extra mile." It took 5 years. And I paid them every time.
You know, money, power, and influence, that can get someone to think that the courthouse door swings only one way.
Exactly.
And the thing is, because things are so different now with social media, with everything that I file is a matter of public record, and it's in an electronic form that anybody can go to a clerk's office and pull out. So it's not a secret anymore. In other words, the bullying that went on in these court cases is now going to be a matter of public record. I believe it's a matter of public concern. I issue press releases in some of my cases, and I'm going to continue to do that because I believe that it's, number one, is an effective way to get witnesses to come forward who have been also harmed by the people, to get information to help my client prosecute their case. And I believe that other people should know that this is not going to happen anymore, and that someone like me is fighting back. Like the responses to some of the motions that I get or that I'm going to be filing, I mean, those are all a matter of public record. And I'm setting out in those motions what I'm setting out to you right now. And I think that there needs to be a public discussion about what exactly is happening in the clerk's office, because these are our tax dollars at work too. And you see that you know, the way that lawyers, especially with larger outfits, bully the smaller lawyers. I mean, I have a guy that I work with on my civil racketeering cases, and he said to me, because I brought this issue up to him after being threatened from one lawyer a number of times for these sanctions, and I said to him, what are your thoughts about what I'm about to tell you, which is I think that this is aiding and abetting their actual fraud if it gets to a certain point. And he's like, Jay, this is why I don't do this work. This is why I don't, because I have a family, I have kids, I cannot jump into the pond anymore, because in these particular cases, they're ripe and riddled with lawyers doing exactly what you're complaining about right now. And that was before I had been sued a couple times. So what happened was, in these two particular lawsuits, it's my opinion that they were trying to get me off the case, but it forced me to dig deeper about the reasons why I do what I do. It forced me to live a few nights of complete uncertainty, especially during COVID, where my law firm was sued. I'm speaking to my clients remotely. I'm doing the research, but I'm alone. I mean, I'm sitting there, at my house, and I'm alone, even though I have people I'm speaking with. But it made me connect to what my clients actually go through, because they're going to still have their case, even if this one gets I was
going to ask you, are these cases combined now, or they stand alone?
They're still standing alone right now. I'm not looking to necessarily combine them, anytime soon.
But it continues.
But it continues. However, like I said, we've done a lot of research in the last 3 months. There's a lot of things that are about to happen, and I want to continue the conversation. Like, we have things that are going to be filed here in the next several weeks in these cases that relate to responses and other things about exactly what happened here. And they're so comprehensive and so powerful that, I mean, it's taken 3 months to do. But it's just the answer to this kind of behavior. So if any other lawyer is going through what I'm going through, the good news is that they can check out my pleadings. They can check out my work. They can check out my research. And I hope that this allows some of the smaller outfits to get past these threats, because that is where justice can happen, when anybody gets to practice law free and clear from this kind of nonsense.
I need to ask, before we go to commercial, when you're doing the other side for your client, and I'm sure they're there too, everybody's there, right?
Right.
The same people. Nobody says nothing, like nothing's going on?
It's
I mean, the judge is like,
No,
okay,
no.
let's just keep going?
It's interesting. It's like, I believe in this. No matter what is happening in the pleadings, you could be literally writing the someone off the page. You get on the phone with them, and it's like as if nothing's going on. I mean, and that's really what's required of us, to be professional and not to take things personally. And did I get angry? Yeah, I got angry. But in the same sense, I got really professional, because I can handle this in a legal argument. I can handle this with the strategies that we have. But when we get on the phone, lawyer to lawyer, and that's what it should. It should never be about the lawyers. Even the lawyers that just sued me. We were on the phone the other day for like an hour trying to go over a case management issue, and everybody was professional, because that's the way it has to be. Because no one's going to get, no matter what you write down, it's like I call them the email tough guys. No matter what you write down, you still got to work with that person, and that's the thing. Lawyers traditionally work with other lawyers to get cases resolved. And yes, we have our strategies, and yes, we have our tactics, and yes, we have our poker game. But it's never to just like take a baseball bat and cut out the legs from the other person, because that's not part of the game. That's not part of the poker. Poker doesn't involve taking a baseball bat and knocking your client's legs out. But like you said, it's a greater conversation what's happening in the country, where it doesn't seem like there's questions about the rule of law that weren't around, even 5 years ago. But it matters. I mean, the rules of procedure matter. The law matters. There's one case out of the Southern District of Florida that's almost directly on point about what had happened here, where there was a press release issued and the case was dismissed by the federal court, almost like exactly the identical facts. Not exact, but almost. And it spells out, like, one lawyer's not going to sue another lawyer under these circumstances. And if you do, the case is going to be dismissed with prejudice, because it's not what we do. But the problem for me, though, was when this first happened, is that there wasn't a clear answer. Like, there was not a bunch of, 30 cases didn't just jump up on my feed when I did my legal research on this particular issue. So I was thinking to myself, man, this is even more reason why, once I get this straight and we get our legal arguments together, that I want to start talking about this. I want to start using my voice to say no more, because this is, if a lawyer is going to bully another lawyer, claims die. People don't get to have lawyers. Lawyers run away because lawyers do have families. They have everything else. And you know what? I'm not saying that they're wrong for doing so. I'm just saying I'm not one of them that's going to do it.
You become taking it personally versus professionally, right? And it's your mindset, it's your psyche, it's that pit in your stomach, it's I'm doing this for my client, but now they're coming after me personally. And this is what bullying is all about.
Well, the funny thing is that it's the game within the game within the game. In the NFL, chop blocking is illegal. And when you do it, the players look at each other and they scream curses at each other, and then they go back to playing. This isn't part of what's going on here. You're talking about taking his legs out from under him, which has a big significance in his livelihood.
Well, they're hoping that they're going to scare him away from pursuing the case.
That's the beginning of it. It gets even more psychologically deep. I just can't understand how, if I'm a judge, I'm sorry. If I'm a judge and I hear this is going on.
Well, that's the thing, is that when you file a lawsuit, anybody can file a lawsuit. It's a matter of pressing enter on a computer now. So like there's nobody's checking the lawsuit to see if it's a good lawsuit.
So they know this.
But when the lawsuit does get assigned to judges, and in these cases they were, and we file what we're going to do in response, that's the judge's opportunity to evaluate the case, and that's what we're looking forward to here. It maybe take a couple months to get to that point,
right.
But it's going to happen, yes, where the judge gets to have their say.
Well, this is going to be interesting. And what about if somebody from the New York Times ends up writing this and gets ready to put that out there?
It's funny enough, is because I posted this thing out last night about like no more. I explained that I got sued twice during COVID, and this is the claims that I'm prosecuting, and this is what happened to me. And I've had a number of people. You guys reached out to me for this interview. I've had colleagues from Canada all the way throughout the United States already reach out to me and say, me too. And so I intend to get as much of a conversation going. If it's in the New York Times, if it ends up on CNN, it ends up on CNN. That's the goal, is because that's the way that this stuff stops, is when there's enough awareness about that this could potentially happen. Because if you're the victim of fraud, you're the victim of a civil tort, and you have to worry about my lawyer is going to getting sued, and if that happens, then they're going to run away from the case. I mean, that's the heart of justice, is the lawyers on the ground in the trenches. And you want to take them off the field?
Well, at the end of the day, we're looking for justice, right?
Absolutely.
We shouldn't be taking this personally. Our legal system is a legal system for the intent of serving
but it's
justice.
Justice for all. There has to be justice on both sides of the equation. Listen, I'm all for going to court and the better team wins. I get it. But the bottom line here is you got to play within the rules. In every game, you have to play within certain rules. Has to be, otherwise you got chaos.
Let's go to commercial break.
Okay.
When we come back, is Janine going to join us on set?
I believe so.
All right, Janine Davis and Jay Farrow joining us for talking about how to stop the corporate bullying. Stay tuned. Give us a call. Chime in, 888-994-4995, and ask for Studio
A.
And we'll be right back.
You have a business you want to share, ideas you want to be heard, and events you want to be known, then amp them up on Amp It Up, our new online radio station. We want your voice to be heard, so spread the word on Amp It Up. Contact us at 866-224-5422 for more information. Let's amp it up.
The way you live your life says a lot about you. The way you choose to commemorate your lifetime can say even more. It's a single event that speaks volumes. So how do you celebrate a life? Dignity Memorial providers believe that your memorial service should be as unique as you are, reflecting your personality and your passions. It should be a perfectly tailored send-off, a fitting tribute for family and friends to celebrate the person they love. We're professionals at catering to your every need, right down to the catering. In fact, no detail is too small. So when it comes time for a fitting tribute, we'll see that your final wishes are beautifully fulfilled. It's what Dignity Memorial providers are known for, and why you should rely on us to see that your life is well celebrated. The celebration of a lifetime begins here.
Dutch Designs and Events is a unique business providing an extensive range of beautiful floral arrangements. They have the power to bring your event or special occasion to life. Dutch Designs are available for any event or to open your business with a smile. All flowers are grown with organic compounds that enhance their fragrance and beauty. Call Dutch Designs at 561-419-8126 or visit their website at DutchDesignsEventPlanning.com. Call Dutch Designs at 561-419-8126.
As the coronavirus pandemic continues to run its course, Paramount Property Maintenance is offering the community a helping hand. Introducing the COVID-19 Action Disinfecting Plan, a one-of-a-kind procedure that will effectively clean and disinfect your business or place of residence. Paramount Property Maintenance has years of experience in dealing with biological contaminants, and their methods are proven to be more reliable and more extensive than any janitorial or cleaning service in South Florida. The COVID-19 Action Procedure features the use of hospital-grade disinfectant recommended by the CDC, as well as a highly trained sanitation team that will make sure every surface in the room receives proper treatment. Contact Paramount Property Maintenance today at 305-761-8191 to make your home or workplace COVID-19 free.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Your phone is ringing.
Apparently so. No, it's not mine.
And
Oh,
now
it
it
was
begins.
mine, but it wasn't mine. I don't know whose phone that is, but it's not mine. Welcome back to the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Give us a call. Join in our conversation. We're talking about attorneys bullying other attorneys in corporate world. It's just crazy to me, but I don't know how you are actually an attorney, because just the thought of this gives me a stomach ache. I don't know how you do it day in and day out.
Well, I don't think he was counting on doing this.
Well,
just
the
the
whole
point.
practice of law and the conflict constantly. 888-994-4995. We've got Jay Farrow and Janine Davis joining us on set, so welcome everybody.
Hello everybody, thank you for having us.
Turn their mics on, guys.
Fantastic treat. I have a green light.
Okay.
Yeah, so you bring to light something really fascinating. This business is about fighting, kind of, or sorting out. It's a lot about sorting out disputes. And again, every law firm is different. This is the wheelhouse of Farrow Law Firm. Pretty tried and true litigators, and that means going to the mats. And when you find yourself on the other side of it, it's a really interesting and surreal experience. And I think it is a distorted tactic to get away, really, from the litigation at hand. And my role in the law firm is to deal with the client, and so it's always that sort of uncomfortable conversation, like, "Hey, we've been sued," and so have you in some of the instances as well for the same things. And it is part of the game to an extent, but I think it brings up a larger conversation. Yes, this is an example of now the law firm being bullied, but the bullies are just casting a wider net, right? because they have now found themselves being called out on and publicly being called out.
Oh yeah, here's the I didn't tell you if there's a silver lining to all this, but when you do get sued, there's an opportunity, and I tell this to my clients all the time. Litigation presents opportunities, and people look at me like with heads. But when you get sued for defamation, and the other side is saying that they didn't do it, see, that's the thing, is that when they're saying that all of the things that our investigations turned up against about them, they didn't do. Well, if you get sued for defamation, they're going to have to come out with information that they didn't want to turn over in the first case. See, part of the things that these people do, like lawyers in these cases, is that they file these objections to discovery. Everybody's entitled to get information in a lawsuit. But yet now the lawsuit, the legal system is being perverted by just ridiculous objections to getting information that you could otherwise supposedly have. But in these cases, you want to sue someone for defamation, you just said, I didn't do it, so now you got to prove that you didn't do it.
Right, so they've actually shifted the burden
Right, so,
on themselves.
and so I posted this thing on Facebook last night, and you know, Janine's she brings the layman's perspective, and she kind of knows what I've been going through for the last number of months. But it's hard for lawyers to share about this. I mean, it's hard for lawyers to say, hey, this personally affected me. This was an emotional experience for me. Because we're supposed to have it together. We're supposed to, you know. So what I decided to do is for the benefit of lawyers' health as well, as I shared what I was going through with a couple of other lawyers. One, in fact, called me on Sunday and said, you know, when you told me that you went through this and you had these anxiety attacks and things like that, he's like, you know what, I experienced that too. He's like, I just got a couple emotions in from the other side in one of my cases, and I was terrified for a day and a half. And we can't be the only two lawyers that are going through this.
Absolutely not. I think that the law is riddled with people who are experiencing some pretty heavy things, and as the attorney, you're responsible for yourself, your client's well-being. You are a fiduciary, which means that you are in care and in trust for the client. And so I think that a lot of those things, people bypass that because you have a title and because you have the professional experience. But ultimately, these are all people in business. You know,
I think
so
you're right. I think they lose sight of the fact that you're human. Doctors too. I think people lose sight of the fact that you are not your career, that you have feelings, you have emotions. But in the legal world, they know how to play on it because you've all been trained in a similar sort of way and how to play on those emotions. You know exactly. There's no one better with words, Jay, than you, which means there's probably another attorney who's going to combat your words with their words. And this becomes a there's a bad word in my head, but a mindset game that happens in this.
Yeah, absolutely.
My fiance knows a doctor up in New York who got COVID, and he was a surgeon, and he spent about 2 weeks on a ventilator. And he got out, and he's still recovering. But he said that he knew everything that was going on when he was there. He heard the nurses coming out of the room. He didn't realize how, because he had heard from his patients about what they go through, but he never experienced it himself.
Yes.
And so when he went through this, it changed his entire life. This last couple of months. And I get that. It's like most lawyers will never feel the angst, the anxiety, the uncertainty of being sued, you know. And in this one particular lawsuit in Seminole County, it's like 88 pages long, and it casts my law firm and others as extortionists, and they took their time with this. I mean,
But
this
it
was
wasn't just you.
no. They sued my clients. They sued another lawyer. I mean, they took 88 pages to just go through the litany. They went into my social media. They went to the verdict show. They went through all these things, saying about like all the things that happened here, and what they just didn't get. And like I keep saying this over and over, is that bad guys make bad mistakes, or bad guys make bad guy mistakes. It's like they have seemingly dug themselves into a corner, so to speak, or painted themselves in a corner on some of these claims because they're going to have to answer for them. And we didn't go away.
But
you know,
Jay, did this happen them coming at you, or did this happen because you had a lawsuit?
So we had
going?
4 lawsuits pending against this one company.
And then it happened.
And then once we filed the latest one, which was a class action in Broward County, and it was for a Ponzi scheme, a class action Ponzi scheme. 4 days later, we get a letter saying that 4 days later, we got a letter saying that if I don't retract certain press releases that, and then we sent the letter back. And I said, listen, if you guys show me that you guys didn't do it, I'll retract the press releases. And then they filed the lawsuit only a couple of days later. So we had cases pending. Then the latest one was filed, and then all of a sudden, we get sued by their longtime lawyers. That they've been working with them for a very long time, and so that was the second lawsuit that we had gotten.
So people are people, right? All of these things came to pass through reactivity. Because had they thought a little bit better about it, they perhaps wouldn't have exposed themselves as much as they did. But we're talking about the human aspect about this as well. And these are all people making decisions, some of them not well thought out, because of the fact that they're constantly reacting instead of being thoughtful and maybe saying, well, this is not substantial. There are so many different routes it could have gone. But in many ways, it did give our law firm a different, deeper perspective of what our clients go
deeper
through.
perspective.
And a distinction of the firm is, for example, my role. So I, talk to the clients a lot and sort of support them, or not sort of, I support them through the litigation. That's a distinction of our firm because it is challenging to have a lawsuit pending against you, or if you're in one yourself, if you're the person who is actually suing somebody. There are so many different variables that
and
go
we
into
felt
that.
that having somebody from the layman's perspective giving status updates, not advice, but status updates.
Only status updates.
That would support people going through what they're going through. And I know from what for the last 3 months, not only did we get a deeper perspective, but a more profound understanding of what's possible in our cases. Because our cases are a matter of public concern. Our cases are a matter of public concern, and we are going to be asking the public to support us in information. We're asking for witnesses to come forward, and we didn't come here today to bring out the actual cases, and maybe we can do that on a.
Well, you have to let us know legally what's allowed to be on the media, what's not, some of the research. But on the other side of it, what's happening with the original case?
Well, that's the thing. The original cases right now that are still pending in Broward County, we were actually they're just they're pending right now.
They're pending.
Some of the cases that were recently filed we put on hold on personal service during COVID because we felt that knocking on someone's door with a lawsuit is a liability, or not just liability. It's just inhumane. Notwithstanding that the other side actually served us, or they served our clients, personally, just knocked on their doors. They didn't even call me to see if I would accept service or something like that. But I just felt like the human decency would just be, and just.
Yeah, listen, to put it in layman's terms, because that's what I do, right? It's a low blow. It's a very, very low blow and very uncalled for during a time where people are nobody prepares for a global pandemic.
Right.
I mean, we'll know better next time if it happens if it happens again. But this is nothing that anybody could have foreseen. So under the circumstances, it was a very low blow.
Right.
Just to put it very plainly.
Well, hold on. You're not dealing with checkers here. I mean, you are going after some people with some heavy stuff.
Right.
So I don't know about this low blow thing. I mean, I was going to be an attorney. I decided to walk away from this thing. But from what it looks to me, they're trying to get in your head. And you're lucky they didn't even get lower blower. Is that a word?
Well,
lower blower.
Well,
Well, for
it's
sure.
funny because
of course.
You
we
know
don't
it's
expect
coming.
them not to want to get into the head.
They're not going to hug and kiss you.
I'm not, and I put this in Facebook last night. I'm not looking to make friends either. All right, but there is a forum. Like, in other words, if we're going to go down this route, we have a legal challenge of us. There is a forum, and then there's still outside the ring. Look, Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. He beat Joe Frazier outside the ring. My opinion is that there are things that can be done outside the ring, and they have their tactics. I have some of the things you already brought up, like saying, well, we're going to paper you to death. We're going to do this. We're going to follow these motions. Okay, I mean that's part of the game.
Right.
I'm just saying that there's some things that I've seen recently, especially in the cases I happen to be handling, that are just not just low blows, but it's like it's just something that if this were to be allowed without any accountability, this would allow think about it, any lawyer who files a case would then be subject to a case for defamation of character, in which case they have to open up their books. Imagine, because I did an investigation, all right, for all of my clients, as I do with all my cases, before I file And the investigation is they're trying to get into the investigation, I think, for a couple reasons. One is to see who did I speak to inside their company or outside their company to find out who the players are. It's like similar to like attacking a whistleblower. And that's exactly what's happened here. It's like they're looking for information as to how I got my information. And that's not how, that's how the system is set up, because it would crumble if I had to expose my attorney-client. In one of the cases, they've asked me specifically for all my communications with my clients.
Well, they can ask, doesn't mean you have to comply.
It
correct?
doesn't mean I have to comply, but it opens the door for it. And like if a lawyer gets this, I don't know the statistics, but I would say that a lot of people are going to check. They might check out. They might just leave the case.
Well,
and I'm saying
I think
that
that's
this is
really what it's about as well. You know, them using this tactic or this, you know, making these decisions and the suit. Because I don't want anybody to think that we're whining about it. Look, you're in a fight. You're gonna get hit. It's gonna happen.
Right.
It's really about though what is behind what is going on, and that is the deeper conversation, which is chilling the action, trying to delay justice for the sake of delaying justice, because they know that this is something that could distract and that can, and to make attorneys take pause and think, I can't afford to do this, or I didn't reckon this would happen, or X, Y, and Z, because they don't know they don't know the fiber of your character, they don't know the law firm, they don't know a lot of things. It's really rolling the dice, and really what I think is the most offensive, not that we'd be attacked, because I think that that's unfortunately, again, you're going to be in the ring, you're going to get hit.
Right.
Okay? But the issue is really that they are striking at the heart of justice. And this is ultimately the sinister tone that is actually behind it.
So I get what you said is point well taken. It gets ugly in the ring. Yeah. It gets ugly, and the stakes couldn't even be higher when you get into litigation, because you're really handling someone's life, livelihood, and so the stakes are high. And yes, but the thing is, if they're going to pull something like this, guess what? I mean, I have to dig deeper. I got to think outside the box as well, and then I have to use the law, because I'm not going to do what it's like. Repeating what they're doing is not something that.
Exactly.
But I have to find a legal basis and means to do that, and I think that I have in the last few months.
Yeah,
Do you want-
absolutely.
let's-
I mean,
I
it
think we have to
ultimately
change the battery.
made
Hold that thought.
us
We need to
stronger.
Change our battery in the camera. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, chime in 888-994-4995. More with Jay Farrow and Janine Davis, and we'll be right back.
Healing Moments Wellness Boutique specializes in integrating scientific and ancient therapies to relieve physical, emotional, and psychological distress. Through the power of touch, coaching, and meditation, clients experience pain relief, relaxation, healing, and detoxification. Contact Healing Moments Wellness Boutique at 561-931-2187 and experience Boca Raton's Healing Haven. Enjoy the benefits of an individualized treatment plan to help find your feelings of peace, complete balance, and wellness. Call Healing Moments today, 561-931-2187, and be rejuvenated.
We are on fire, so let's spread your business like fire. Spotlight your business, ideas, and events through our Brooklyn Cafe TV channel on Amazon Fire. Contact us today at 866-224-5422 for more information. Let the whole town, even the whole country, know your message with the click of a button. Together, we ignite.
Pizza District is the official pizzeria of the Brooklyn Cafe Show. They have amazing deals, great food, and an even better customer connection. Their owner, Nico, runs the friendliest and cleanest pizzeria for miles around. With their pizza made with whole wheat, gluten-free, cauliflower crust, and traditional New York style, you can't go wrong. Plus all the extras like salad and chicken wings. They are a family-run business with a great atmosphere. Call today to order your pizza and tell them the Brooklyn Cafe sent you at 561-961-4163. That's 561-961-4163 for Pizza District. the official pizzeria of the Brooklyn Cafe Show.
Sexy, seductive, and beautiful. Looking for a professional and talented photographer? Danielle Boujon specializes in capturing flirtatious and tasteful images for yourself or your partner. Located in South Florida, Danielle really knows how to bring out your inner beauty on a shoot. Visit her website at www.daniellebuljan.com or call her at 561-305-2241 to capture your most desirable moments.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
In our world, there's nothing weird. Welcome back to the Brooklyn Cafe Show. We got about 5 more minutes, so I want to ask Jay and Janine, what's next? Where do we go from here?
So like I said, in the next few weeks, we have a lot of filings that are going to be happening. And
Turn this mic on.
we, once those things are filed, we're free to talk about what's been filed. I don't want to take that step yet, and I'm certainly not mentioning any names, but I want to continue the conversation. And I think that once you, and I think I'll send you guys a couple of points about what's really going on, because this is happening in the clerk's office every single day. You know,
Well, the clerks, are they open right now in Broward County?
no,
or
the
Palm Beach,
clerks
wherever
are
we are?
open to take new filings. I'm saying that that what goes on in the lawsuit is happening, that is reflected in the clerk's office every single day. And there's cases out there that are so interesting and so powerful. And if you get into them, it's like it truly is on a smaller level than what's actually talked about in the New York Times or CNN. But it doesn't make it any less important. Especially when the people in the trenches, you know, like a smaller firm like ours is being bullied in this way or attempted to be bullied in this way, and we're not going anywhere. There's, sharing an answer for what all of this is what we really want to do.
Absolutely, and encouraging other people, even though it is difficult to stand up, and even though it is difficult to be on this side of it. You know, it's how do you're the attorney and now you're the defendant. I mean, it's an awkward place to be. However, it does open up the conversation to encourage others to stand up for themselves. If you think you can take it, you can, and stand up against it. Because the truth of the matter is, it's part of the larger conversation that's happening in our society today, where people are sick and tired of being sick and tired and pushed around. And this is part of it. It's
Standing up and using your voice.
exactly.
And no matter what, continue to stand up and use your voice. Because the bullies aren't going away. They're not going to go away. You know, all they're going to do is win another round, and I'm not going to let that happen. And that's why I'm
They're thinking
committed.
it's business as usual,
Right.
and we're saying no.
We have found some means and some things that are going to support us in a few months that are going forward that are just completely revolutionary. We're about to do some things in a law firm with asking people to come forward and asking people in our particular cases, witnesses, come forward. But we are going to be using the platform of what we're allowed to use to put an amplifier and a microphone to the clerk's office like never before. Because I think that's the way that this stuff stops, and that's the way people find their power to stand up to the bullies in their life. And that's what we're
I don't
intending
know if the
on
bullying
doing.
will ever stop, but if we can help those that are being bullied have a voice and step into their power and fight back,
That's it.
and maybe not recede, I only wish the bullies everywhere would stop. I don't, maybe if I wave my wand, but if those that are being bullied can actually stand up and have a voice and not play that whole mind game that we play with ourselves.
But we're looking to level the playing field.
There
That
you go.
money is no longer going to determine whether or not you have access to the court's office. Or the
Good
clerk
point.
to courts. Money and power and influence are not going to equal justice. There is a way through that. And becoming more resourceful, even if you're the little guy, the David lawyer, that's what we're looking to do.
We want to level the playing field.
That's exactly what's going on
Give
around
everyone a
us
fair chance.
right now around us, on all bases of everything going on around us right now. Money isn't going to buy justice. Justice will be served. And
Correct,
it's really
and-
interesting that you guys are asking others to come forward and join this cause. I didn't even know that was coming in this segment today, but Maybe we put something out there. So
Going
listen,
forward.
Come on and
Well, it
join
is,
me.
Freddie, because it's about being in contribution to
Yeah.
a larger conversation,
Yeah.
right? It's not, again, we're not on here whining about, listen, oh, we got sued. Yeah, it's unfortunate that we got sued, and this is what we've learned about it. And you too can stand up, and you don't need to recede, and you don't need to give up. And there are ways to
Whether you're the
level
client or
playing
there's
field.
lawyers, because
Exactly.
I'm about lawyers'
Exactly.
health too, because
100%.
what I went through, nobody should have to go through. And there's a way through that. And if you get, I'm happy to share my research with any lawyer that's going through the same stuff that I've just gone through, because there's a way to fight back. And if we stick together, this is how we win. Okay?
Exactly.
Because this abuse of the legal system that's been happening for so long has become systemic, and the new normal, well, I'm about to create with a bunch of other colleagues a new normal as well.
How
And
do they
that's-
find you?
They can reach me at our website is farrowlawfirm.com or j@farrowlawfirm.com.
Also by telephone 954-252-9818. And also you can give us messages on our Facebook page at Farrow Law Firm.
Let us know your experiences if you need help. If Jay and Janine can help you in any way, whether you're an attorney and you want the information on how to fight back, or if you are a client looking for someone to help you get your voice out there. Let us know how we can help. As always, 888-994-4995. Jay and Janine, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having us. Thank you.
More to come. Interesting conversation.
It is.
We got to level the
because
playing field.
And not only that, but it ties in with a lot about what's going on, a different dimension, but it still exists. And bullying, you know, it's funny. When I met you, 5 years ago, you told me what the ADL was. And you told me what bullying was all about. And all those kids from school and that's at that level. But at this level, you're talking about the major leagues.
Because bullies don't stop being bullies.
They just grow to be bigger bullies.
Exactly.
And then they get paid to become bigger bullies.
Right.
And then they think it's strategy. You know, enough with the madness. Enough. We talked about this on the morning show. Enough. If you don't realize that you're doing something stupid, the camera's going to point it out to you. Stupid is what stupid gets.
Have a great day, everyone. Be kind to each other. Please be safe. Wash your hands. Wear your masks.
And don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show is over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. Well, see you next time.
In the cold and sleepless nights, I wait for you to bring me back to life. In my electric eyes, it doesn't mean that time can thicken every single breath. I want to unfreeze my heart and fly away. That's why I wanna save it. Your moons and craters. Open up my eyes, waterfalls of ice, sweeping me away like an avalanche. Helpless as I fall, the words can't say it all, sweeping me away like an avalanche, like an avalanche. I listen for a sound, waiting deep inside my maze of sweeping thrills and colors, just a ray of light.